As any young man might, Jacob Dalton Stanley waited in anticipation with his mom on one side and his girlfriend on the other. Both women were proud of him, and this was supposed to be an amazing day for him. Jacob was proud of all that he accomplished and couldn't wait to hear his name called to stand up and get his diploma. That's not what happened. Instead, some twist in the plan had his name skipped over by the ones that be. What happened? Why wasn't he called? Did he do something wrong? The answers might shock you. Before we start, can we get this video to 1,000 likes? Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Jacob was a student at Crown Point High School, located in Crown Point, Indiana. Ever since he could walk, he wanted to serve his country and become a sergeant. At 10, he knew he could go for his dream and follow in his dad's footsteps, though no one took him seriously then. Jacob was always careful not to mess anything up. He studied hard so that he could finish up high school before embarking on his dreams. Once he graduated, he applied to the Marines, doing boot camp so that he could go back to claim his diploma on graduation day. The three people made their way to the high school to attend the graduation ceremony. They were all so happy at what this young man achieved and all the work he put in. Things were finally going in his favor. Jacob was just as pleased as his girlfriend and mom. All of Jacob's teachers and friends smiled at him when they saw him. They were genuinely happy to have him home. Some of the passers-by gave him a salute. Though everyone was excited, surprise and shock at what Jacob wore to graduation made things feel a little off. For some reason, everything shifted in a new direction, puzzling Jacob, his mom, and his girlfriend. Chip Pettit was the principal of Crown Point High School. The crowd hushed as he walked to the stage and picked up his microphone. Looking down at his notes, he began his speech. What happened next might shock you. After his small speech, Pettit started calling the names of the graduates. This was done in alphabetical order, which was fully expected. However, soon everyone heard something that brought them shock and disdain. Jacob and his small posse were anxiously awaiting the S's, and when the principal reached it, the anticipation was killing them all. The principal locked eyes with Jacob and had a smirk on his face. Looking down at his list, he skipped Jacob's name altogether, reading the next one. This was a true outrage because his name was skipped on purpose. Jacob just couldn't believe what happened. Was it just an oversight? Now, Jacob sat and hung his head. He thought about how he defied the principal, but he'd been completely professional about it. Surely, the principal didn't want to humiliate him to get revenge. After he put his life on the line and served his country, he got treated this way. What infuriated his mom most was that she saw other students violating the dress code for graduation. Their names had been called. Why did Mr. Pettit have it out for her son? Jacob showed up to the graduation ceremony in a full-dress Marine Corps uniform. To be fair, there were no Crown Point school bylaws addressing whether or not U.S. military uniforms were allowed at graduation. Everyone there that day was completely outraged, and with a good reason. However, no one expected this Marine story to go to such high places. It's amazing what social media can do. Even then, the backlash didn't stop, and people wanted revenge for what the principal did. Crystal Hernandez heard the story and took it to Facebook. She said that it amazed her that people tell you to be proud and celebrate your uniqueness throughout life. Then, at a memorable event, one administrator destroys all of your accomplishments. Mr. Pettit had to deal with all the backlash from the community. Many were outraged and voiced their concerns on social media and in the streets. However, the House Education Committee got wind of the situation, too. One Facebook user wrote that they sent the principal a letter. Many people are now pulling their financial support from CPHS and the programs because of it. What did Mr. Pettit say? See, according to him, Jacob had already been warned of what might happen. Jacob had participated in the Crown Point High School graduation reversal earlier in the day. That's when Mr. Pettit informed him that he couldn't wear his Marine uniform during the ceremony. To Jacob's horror, the principal didn't back down and was true to his word. Once he arrived in full uniform to the graduation ceremony, he had his name struck from the program. Does Mr. Pettit regret this decision because of the backlash? Though Mr. Pettit received lots of online hate. He insists he enforced the school's policy and stands by his decision. He said Jacob could have worn a military stole or corps to be recognized. Hobart High School, another school in Crown Point, had a similar situation. Anna Kritikos was a graduate in the Marine Corps and graduated early to enlist. However, she was allowed to wear the full military uniform during the ceremony. When Anna went to her graduation ceremony, she wanted to wear her military uniform and asked the high school administrators. In contrast to Jacob's situation, she received everyone's full support for the decision. Anna said that the school administration was amazing, and it was okay with the Marines for her to wear her uniform at her graduation. Everyone discussed it and agreed. Why couldn't Mr. Pettit do the same? Unlike Crown Point and the very unpopular principal, Peggy Buffington is the superintendent of Hobart High School. She said her school goes out of its way to recognize its military graduates, as they should. Peggy stated that they recognized Anna and her achievements in the Marines. Mike Aylesworth, a state representative, was appalled when he saw that Jacob was barred from his own high school graduation. He also felt that the backlash the school received was just and added some of his own. Aylesworth is a Vietnam-era veteran and claims that what happened was not appropriate. People are willing to be in harm's way to save our country and should get to choose to wear their uniforms at graduation. His comment won a lot of support. The state representative won approval to create a bill to mandate school districts to allow their students serving in the military already to wear dress uniforms if they want. He claims it's a hodgepodge of regulations and everything should be more consistent. Mike said that most school corporations do the right thing. They don't need a law to provide guidance, but there are a few schools that do. Clearly, he was referring to Crown Point High and Mr. Pettit. Aylesworth said that young people need to be encouraged to graduate and serve their country. When they put their lives on the line before the graduation ceremony, they should walk up on stage in their military uniforms and stand proud. Jacob's father, Wheeler Stanley, didn't want to comment about the school incident. However, he said he could support legislation that enforces uniform standards throughout the state to make it fair to everyone. What's Jacob have to say about it all? Jacob said that he didn't want any social media controversy to draw attention away from his class. With that, he didn't wish to make other statements and wanted to put everything behind him. He wants a fresh start to his Marine Corps career